A new Halo game means a new sandbox, new weapons, new equipment, as well as tweaks and changes to all of the existing items within the game. Halo Infinite is obviously no different. Seeing how it has been an incredibly long time since I have consistently played a Halo game, I decided I was going to use a weapon for the whole day and break down what I am learning about the weapon as I progress. Today, I'll be focusing on the Sidekick. Will it be as strong as the Combat Evolved Magnum or the Halo 5 Magnum? Or will it be as bad as the Halo 2 pistol? Or somewhere in between? Who knows? The only way to figure out is just to dive in and use it excessively. Alrighty, so honestly guys, I didn't really know what I was expecting going into this. I don't know if I was expecting to just be an absolute Chad and just never die and just absolutely murder anybody that gets in my way, but let me tell you guys something. Game 1 was a wake-up call if I have ever seen one. I don't know if it was because I wasn't warmed up or if I had just never used this weapon before, because I haven't, but Game 1 did not go great for me, and I learned a lot about the weapon during this.
Almost out of ammo, Spartan.
All wrong. Ball out of bounds.
Available.
All right. Enemy has the ball.
Let's go. Great aim, Spartan.
So, in Game 1, I learned that at long ranges, this gun is honestly not effective. And the same really goes for short and medium ranges. At just about every single possible engagement you can think of, there is going to be a better counter for this gun. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, and let me tell you why. Obviously, this gun is called the Sidekick, and that is what it's meant to be. It is supposed to be a sidearm, a secondary that you can pull out when you're in a pinch. This gun is not intended to be your primary weapon and your only weapon of choice. So seeing how hard I struggled to find a niche for this weapon in the beginning, trying to use it like it was a Magnum from previous games, or, you know, a battle rifle or the DMR from Halo Reach, it became very clear to me that this gun was not going to work like that. And I definitely noticed that this gun was most effective when you were combining it with some form of utility, whether or not that was a repulsor, a grapple, your nades, a melee, or anything like that. It's very difficult to get kills with this weapon just using the weapon alone, and you usually need to rely on some other form of damage to help you secure kills when you're only using this weapon. Alrighty, so honestly guys, with game number 2, I really couldn't tell if I had gotten substantially better after getting absolutely pummeled in the first game, or if my opponents had gotten substantially worse. But I did a lot better in this game, and I'm not really sure why. You know, during this game, I was starting to get used to the optimal fire rate that you should be using with this weapon. I was kind of bouncing between either tapping it too slow or spamming it too fast, and you know, there's definitely an optimal fire rate that you should be using for each engagement type, and you know, in each range that you may encounter. And I was kind of starting to figure out that balance in this game. I was making sure that I was really paying attention to opponents' shield status, because like most weapons in this game, I believe the Sidekick is 6 shots to break the shields and then a single headshot to kill after that. So I was really trying to focus on when I was breaking their shields so I could try to transition into getting that headshot after I had broken the shields. And I was really trying to stay at a closer range in this game, which typically wasn't very hard, because the way that I was playing in this map design in general, so long as you stayed out of the massive open space in the middle, it was pretty easy for me to find, you know, close to medium range engagements, and it definitely became easier to secure kills in those engagements, because obviously I could just get their shields broken or close to breaking and then finish them off with a melee in a lot of cases, which is how I got a lot of my kills in this game. But overall, game 2 went a lot better than game 1. Didn't feel like as much of a steep learning curve, and I was definitely starting to try to figure out the nuances of, you know, how to make this gun work the best that it possibly can. so let's talk about Game 3. Game 3 was an interesting one for me because this was definitely the biggest map that I have played yet on Halo Infinite, and it was also the first map that I have played that had vehicles on it. So when you combine a big map that I've never played before with vehicles, while I'm trying to use a secondary weapon as a primary weapon, the beginning of this was a little bit hard for me. I was struggling to figure out where I was on the map. I was struggling to figure out how the opponents were going to be attacking, and I also was very not familiar with the game mode, one flag, so it took a little bit of time to get me adjusted to how people play on this map, where I would typically find the most action, and how to play the game mode in general. There's a lot of really fun things to do on this map, like the grav lift, which is, I think, just really a conveyor belt, and also you have power weapons like the sentinel beam, and of course the rocket launcher, which, you know, sometimes I really try to stick to just using the sidekick, but I mean, come on, when I see a Tesla coil sitting right by a grav lift with a sentinel beam as well, you can imagine how I was not able to restrain myself from picking up the sentinel beam and the coil, launching myself over the gap, throwing the coil, and then finishing somebody off with the sentinel beam. I had to do it, you know. So I got a little bit of sidetracked, you know, but I think that this map did teach me a lot more about the sidekick. Seeing how this map was really big and it was going to be really hard for me to find some of those close to medium range engagements that I really think this gun shines in, it was really forcing me to really learn the projectile speed of this weapon and really learning how to pace myself and tap my shots at these longer ranges. I was really starting to realize at this point that this gun was better than I initially thought, because honestly, with my experience with the first game, I was really starting to compare this gun to the Halo 2 pistol, which, as you know, if you played any Halo before, you know that the Halo 2 pistol was largely completely useless. But I was really hitting my stride in this game. I think I was getting some good kills, and I was getting used to the gun in general, you know, and I was starting to realize that due to the low magazine size of this gun, you really can't reliably get 2 kills with a single magazine ever. So you really have to focus on hitting your shots and making sure you're hitting that headshot after you break their shields.
Enemy flag returned.
Power items inbound. Items available.
Alrighty, so game 4. Honestly, I really felt like this was a map where I felt this gun really shines. It's a lot of really close engagements, a lot of close to medium range engagements, which is where I feel like you can most reliably use this gun and put out the highest DPS possible, since you don't really have to worry about tapping your shots too much. The only thing you really have to focus on, again, hitting that headshot after you break the shields. You know, I could really feel myself getting used to the mechanics of this gun and getting a really good feel for the role this gun has in this game. I was starting to understand why this gun is such a reliable sidearm, you know, because it does reliable damage.
Hostile carrier down.
Enemy has the ball. Ball drop.
Seize the skull.
Double kill. Way to victory.
M41 Striker available.
Ball drop. Killing spree. Enemy team nearing victory.
Crack shot.
Ball drop.
Alrighty, and finally, guys, we're on to game 5. We are on the home stretch. Remember what I said last map about how that was really a map where this gun shines? Scratch that. This is the map where this gun shines. I know that this was like, I think one of the first maps that people were able to play in like some of the first flights. I had never played this map before. Honestly, I'd seen a bunch of gameplay from it, but oh my goodness, this gun smokes on this map. But overall, guys, I feel that this gun is in a really good spot. It's really not too powerful, and it definitely still gets outclassed by primary weapons if your opponent is skilled enough. And I think that that is a really, really, really important mark for this game to hit. Because if you guys remember Combat Evolved, or especially Halo 5, there was really no need to use any other gun in the game. The Magnum was just your end-all, be-all. It was the jack of all trades, close range, medium range, long range. It just obliterated everything. This gun definitely has its niche. It definitely has engagements where it can be used, and it definitely is useful for what it is. And I think that 343 has done a really good job of putting this weapon in a spot where you can't just run around with the Sidekick and pop off every single game. It's just not gonna happen. Is it as good as the Combat Evolved Magnum or the Halo 5 Magnum? No, absolutely not. Is it as bad as the Halo 2 pistol? Also no, absolutely not. But I do feel like this gun is in a really nice middle zone, and I feel like it does exactly what its name would suggest a Sidekick is supposed to do.
The enemy has captured Alpha.
Enemy team scoring.
Hello, Bozo.
That's my time for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And thank you guys for all of the support on my last video. Reading all of the comments and seeing how much you guys enjoyed the video really made me happy. And I cannot wait to continue putting out content. But you guys know the drill. Leave a like and subscribe if you want, or don't. And spread peace, love, and positivity everywhere you go. Deuces.